Harold Clarke, custom designed and made to measure collections exclusively for you.
You feel like a princess. It makes you feel so special, and he is so easy to work with. I would highly recommend you coming up to Harold Clarke.
Vanna White, Patti LaBelle, Delta Burke. What do these actresses have in common? They all fashion dresses by Harold Clarke, a world-renowned dress designer working right here in New Orleans. Who doesn't want a dress designed and crafted just for them? A one-of-a-kind piece. For your perfect evening or bridal gown, visit Harold Clarke for a consultation.
He's fun, and he's a pleasure. He's easy to work with. He knows what looks good on me, what styles look good on me, the colors that look good on me, and it's just, I like everything about him. He's just a wonderful person. Spectacular artist. I call him artist.
I knew that Harold would take all my measurements and everything would just fit perfectly. I knew that this was going to be a piece that was truly mine.
Harold Clarke, custom designed and made to measure collections exclusively for you.
Harold Clarke, a world-renowned dress designer working right here in New Orleans. Who doesn't want a dress designed and crafted just for them? A one-of-a-kind piece. For your perfect evening or bridal gown, visit Harold Clarke for a consultation.
As you can see, you can pick the color you want, the color that's absolutely perfect for you. It can stand out in a crowd, and it fits you perfectly, and it's very, very comfortable. And not to mention, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Ever since I was strolling down Magazine Street years ago, he had his first salon on Magazine, and I wasn't able to have anything at that time. I was younger, and so I followed him. He was moved to the Iberville location, and that's when I really discovered him. And I commissioned three outfits for him, and I wore those three today. This is all my own that he made for me, and I'm just so excited to have someone of his caliber here in New Orleans, because he was in New York and he decided to make New Orleans his home. That's so special. He's a special person. He and his entire family. So I'm just happy to be part of this today.
Harold Clarke, custom designed and made to measure collections exclusively for you. Visit us on the corner of St. Charles and Canal Street, the most fashionable address in New Orleans, on the second floor of Rubenstein's. Complimentary valet parking available.
New Orleans is known for talented people, whether they are musicians, artists, or chefs. But the Crescent City is also home to internationally recognized fashion designers.
Tonight, we continue our look at those who choose to produce their creations here. Harold Clarke left 7th Avenue in New York to make New Orleans home. It was a wedding that went down in New Orleans history. The mayor of the city, Marc Morial, marrying TV reporter Michelle Miller at St. Louis Cathedral. It was romantic, elegant, and the moment designer Harold Clarke became known as the creator of the dress. The flowing, regal gown with hints of color was a showstopper. But it was actually another wedding that brought him to New Orleans in 1994. A prominent family saw his work in a French magazine, but actually found him in New York.
I was on 7th Avenue, and I was in Calvin Klein old studio, four-flight walk-up.
They loved his designs and wanted him to do the entire wedding.
We have 11 bridesmaids. I said, what, 11 bridesmaids? She says, well, I said, well, look, if you fly me and my partner into New Orleans, I could fit all you girls in New Orleans, so you wouldn't have to spend all that money flying them back and forth to New York.
Harold and his wife Iona arrived and instantly knew they were home.
I just called New York. I said, look, you know, we find this magical place here in New Orleans. And I said, look, I don't think we're going to come back, you know.
And they didn't. Within 2 months, they had set up shop. And soon the glamorous, dramatic gowns were not only in the window of his Iberville Street showroom, but in the closets of fashionable New Orleans women.
It's all about taking risks with fabric. I'm not afraid to just get the raw fabric and create something.
And he has created for many. His gowns have walked the red carpet for the Oscars, the Cannes Film Festival,
the Grammys, the Golden Globes.
He has dressed Vanna White of Wheel of Fortune fame, Linda Evans, and Delta Burke. When Patti LaBelle came to New Orleans to sing at the Super Bowl, she was sent the wrong dress. Harold brought sketches to her hotel room.
And she said, okay, this is the one I like. But Harold, can you really do it for tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock? I said, sure. We got to do what we have to do. So we work all night, and we did it. And she was fabulous. So.
But those were the days before Katrina, before his showroom was looted.
What they didn't take, they tossed on the floor, so everything was ruined.
He has fought the same battle so many have with insurance companies.
And I said, look, you know something, let's just move on, you know. I'm not going to worry about it. You can't fight these people, you know.
It has been a tough couple of years.
I'm not going to make it look like everything is like hunky-dory, you know. It's very slow, but...
But ever the optimist, Harold Clarke sees a healthier future. With the one-day return of the Sanger, the Fairmont, and the reopening of the Mahalia Jackson Theater, a revival, he says, of the downtown nightlife.
The Sanger was very good for us because the folks would come in for those Broadway plays, and they would stay maybe at the Fairmont or the Ritz-Carlton, and then, you know, they would go shopping.
Until then, he has expanded his design work for Mardi Gras queens, and even for the young woman named Miss Louisiana. He creates gowns that make women feel glamorous and confident, whether for a bride, a queen, a star, or the woman next door who needs a special dress.
I can see them wearing it before I start sketching it.
Just as he says, he can see the city back to its better days before it is. Despite hurricanes and financial downturns, Harold Clarke knows his move from the Big Apple was the right one, and his decision to stay and fight for its future even more so.
Once you fall in love with New Orleans and Louisiana, it's in you. You can't get away from it. It's very magical. So you don't want to lose the magic.
And we're lucky to have him. Next to
Harold Clarke, custom designed and made to measure collections exclusively for you. Visit us on the corner of St. Charles and Canal Street, the most fashionable address in New Orleans, on the 2nd floor of Rubenstein's. Complimentary valet parking available.